command. Zorpax of the Galactic Federation Station Epsilon 9 paced his command bridge, his 4 manipulator limbs ringing in distress. On the main view screen, a grainy image showed a small, furry creature with beady eyes scurrying across a corridor before vanishing into a vent. The Xyla representative, a being of crystalline structure, shimmered with anxiety. "Commander!" Its synthesized voice crackled. "The Gribblies have infested the nutrient synthesis vats on Deck 7. Our food supply is compromised." Gribblies, a species that had hitchhiked on a trade freighter and was now breeding at an astronomical rate. They were small, fast, and alarmingly clever, able to chew through standard-grade durasteel and bypass most energy barriers. The station's pest control units, sophisticated sonic emitters, and laser grids were proving laughably ineffective. Zorpax had seen footage of a Gribbly actually using a disconnected power conduit to play jump rope with a laser beam. Panic was rippling through the station's multi-species population. "We have tried everything," Zorpax lamented, his antennae drooping. "The sonic frequencies only seem to agitate them. The automated sentries can't track their erratic movements. My last resort is to vent the entire deck to space, but we'd lose a month's worth of supplies." Just then, a calm voice cut through the tension. "Hey, Zorpax, what's all the fuss about? You look like you've seen a ghost." "Where's Jox, the station's human liaison officer and chief engineer?" Strolling onto the bridge with a steaming mug in his hand. Jox was an anomaly on Epsilon 9. While most species relied on complex tech and rigid protocols, Jox often solved problems with what he called old-school ingenuity and an alarming amount of duct tape. Zorpax gestured a weary limb at the screen. "Behold, human Jox! The source of our impending starvation. The Gribblies, they are unstoppable." Jox squinted at the image of the furry menace. Heat. Took a long slurp from his mug, a thoughtful expression on his face. "Huh. Looks a bit like a space rat," he mused. "We used to have things like that back on Earth. Got into the grain silos. Annoying little critters." The Xyla representative vibrated impatiently. "Your anecdotal histories are irrelevant. Human, this is a crisis. These creatures are immune to our most advanced deterrents." Jox just chuckled, a sound that always unnerved the other crew members. It was too unstructured. Advanced. Sometimes the most advanced solution is a few 100,000 years of evolutionary programming. He set his mug down with a clink. "Zorpax, old buddy, I've got an idea. It's a bit biological, but trust me, it's a classic for a reason. I just need to make a callback to the Sol system." Zorpax was desperate. "At this point, human Jox, I would authorize a ritualistic dance if I thought it would work. Proceed." A week later, a small, specially chartered cargo ship arrived from Earth. The manifest listed its contents simply as biological pest control units. The docking bay was a scene of tense curiosity. Zorpax and his command staff stood at a safe distance as Jox, wearing a thick pair of gloves, supervised the unloading. The cargo bay doors hissed open. From within, a cacophony of strange noises echoed out a series of high-pitched mews, rumbling purrs, and the occasional indignant yowl. Then they emerged. A flood of them. Creatures of all shapes, sizes, and colors. Some were sleek and black, others fluffy and orange. They had long tails that twitched with curiosity, triangular ears that swiveled to catch every sound, and large, luminous eyes that blinked slowly in the station's artificial light. The Xyla represented They possess sharp fangs. "Human Jox, have you brought monsters aboard this station?" Jox, grinned, scooping up a small tabby-striped creature that immediately started rubbing its face against his chin, emitting a loud, vibrating noise. Monsters. No, my crystalline friend. This is Fluffy and Mittens. General Patton over there, the big ginger one. These, he announced to the bewildered aliens, are cats. Earth's elite, four-legged gribbly-getters. Before Zorpax could protest, a gribbly, emboldened by the station's failed countermeasures, darted out from under a console. 2. In a flash of black fur, a sleek panther-like cat was on it. There was a brief, almost silent pounce, a tiny squeak, and then nothing. The cat sat up, licked a paw with an air of complete nonchalance, and looked at Jocks as if to say, "Next." The assembled aliens were stunned into silence. The entire encounter had lasted less than a second. Jocks set down the tabby. "All right, team," he said to the milling felines. "Search and destroy. Or, search and play with until it stops moving. You know the drill." What followed was not a battle. It was a reckoning. The cats spread through the station with silent, purposeful grace. They didn't need complex tracking systems. They had ears that could hear a gribbly breathing 3 rooms away. They didn't need laser grids. They had reflexes honed by millennia of hunting. They could squeeze into vents, leap onto high ledges, and wait with infinite patience for their prey to emerge. The Gribblies, who had outsmarted the best technology the Galactic Federation could muster, were utterly unprepared for this analog assault. Their frantic scurrying was met with silent, lightning-fast pounces. Their clever hiding spots were discovered by twitching noses. Within 48 hours, Gribbly sightings dropped by 99%. The nutrient vats were secure. The only evidence of the former infestation was the occasional sight of a cat batting a captured, and thankfully deceased. Gribbly across the floor like a toy, before getting bored and taking a nap in a sunbeam from a viewport. The station's atmosphere transformed from one of panic to one of bemused wonder. Crew members would stop and stare as a majestic Maine Coon patrolled a corridor, its tail held high like a banner of victory. A tiny Calaxian engineer was seen sharing his nutrient paste with a calico who had decided his heated workspace was the perfect spot for an afternoon snooze. Zorpax summoned Jocks back to the bridge. The view screen was now displaying a live feed of a cat sleeping soundly on top of a warm power converter on Deck 7, the very heart of the former infestation. "Human Jocks," Zorpax began, his antennae twitching in a new, unfamiliar way. "Your cats have been remarkably effective. Order has been restored." "Told you," Jocks said, sipping his ever-present coffee. "Sometimes you don't need a bigger laser, you just need a better predator." The Xyla representative shimmered. "Indeed. Their efficiency is undeniable. However, we have a new problem. Several of my species have reported that when they attempt to work at their consoles, one of the cats will sit on their input crystals, preventing them from performing their duties. They also seem to be demanding pets." Jocks looked at the screen, where the sleeping cat stretched luxuriously. "Ah, yes. That's the price of their services."